Welcome to another truck hardware installation tutorial. Today we are installing our custom no-body drill Gatorback mud flaps on a 2022 Ford Raptor. These nylon offset mud flaps are a great way to protect and improve the overall look of your vehicle. As well, like all of our nylon mud flaps, these flaps come with the capability of removing the lower rubber from your flap, giving you the ability to gain extra clearance when needed. Remember, this video is to be used as a companion to the included installation instructions. With that out of the way, let's get started on the rear of the vehicle. To start, remove the two factory screws from the inside of the fender flare. At the same time, remove the nut insert from the innermost factory hole and replace it with a supplied spring nut. Test fit the spring nut using a sheet metal screw to make sure it sits correctly. Next, move to the underside of the vehicle and remove the push pin located closest to the wheel well. Then attach the brace included with your kit to the factory hole using a cap screw and flat washer. Secure it in place using a nylon washer, a flat washer, a lock washer, and a hex nut. This hardware can be seen fully installed in the following clip. Next, position the washer plate included with your kit onto your mud flap. Then attach the hole shown here to the spring nut on the vehicle using a sheet metal screw, a flat washer, and a nylon washer. Repeat this process for the next hole on the flap. With the mud flap now roughly in place, take a marker and mark on the fender where the top hole of the flap sits. Then temporarily remove the hardware from the top of the flap and move the mud flap aside. Next, take a spring nut, and with the nut facing outwards, position it over top of the marked area of the fender. With the spring nut in place, reinstall the hardware removed from the lower hole. Then, secure the top hole of the flap using a cap screw, a flat washer, and a nylon washer. Now we will attach the innermost hole of the mud flap to the bracket using a cap screw, a flat washer, and a nylon washer. Secure this hardware in the back using a nylon washer, a flat washer, a lock washer, and a hex nut. This hardware can be seen fully installed in the following clip. With a square or other leveling tool, make sure the mud flap is level. We also recommend you take a step back and visually gauge the mud flap to check that it is aligned correctly. Once your flap is level, secure all fasteners. Congratulations! You've just finished installing your Gatorback rear mud flaps. Next, we'll move on to the front of the vehicle. To start, position the flap onto the fender as it would sit when installed. Then use a marker to mark the position of the top two holes of the flap onto the fender. Once marked, position spring nuts, with the nuts facing outwards, onto the fender. Next, remove the two screws located on the inside of the fender. Then move to the underside of the vehicle and attach the supplied brace onto the existing lower factory fender bolts using 2 serrated flange nuts. Now we will begin attaching the mud flap to the wheel well. To start, position the washer plate included with your kit onto the mud flap. Then attach the top hole of the washer plate onto the vehicle using a sheet metal screw, a flat washer, and a nylon washer. Repeat this step for the lower hole on the washer plate. Next, use 2 sets of cap screws, flat washers, and spacer washers to secure the top 2 holes of the mud flap. Finally, attach the last hole of the flap to the bracket we previously installed using a cap screw and flat washer. Secure this hardware in the back using a nylon washer, a flat washer, a lock washer, and a hex nut. This hardware can be seen fully installed in the following clip. With a square or other leveling tool, make sure the mud flap is level. We also recommend you take a step back and visually gauge the mud flap to check that it is aligned correctly. Once your flap is level, secure all fasteners. Congratulations, you've just finished installing your Gatorback mud flaps. If you found this video helpful, give us a like and subscribe. Check out the rest of our channel and website for additional tips, tricks, and installation guides. Thanks for choosing Truck Hardware.